Alright, so I am doing this video to show the gear that I'm using on my travels. Let's start with the top and then going downwards, talking about the helmet, talking about the jacket, and talking about the pants, and finally the boots. And I will talk a little bit about what I like and what I don't like so much. The don't like is going to be short because I actually got, I think I managed to get some gear that worked very well for me. Let's go into more details. So the first thing is the helmet. This is one of those flip-up helmets. It goes like that, which is quite convenient for me. When I talk to people, I'd like to not being too hidden away in helmet and stuff. I think it adds a little bit more personal touch to it, if so to speak. It gives a better ability to communicate, I think. This is a Sena headset, so I have this microphone, and this microphone over here is the microphone that I use for my GoPro. So I talk when I ride, and sing when I ride as well. Let's not forget that. So let me take off the helmet. Yeah, so this is my helmet. It's a Schubert helmet. It's a Schubert E1. It works very well for me. It has this visor, the beak or whatever it's called, on top, and you might think that there's a lot of turbulence and wind is caught in this one, and I don't really feel that. But then again, I'm also tucked away in this windscreen with this MRA wind deflector, so I'm pretty nicely tucked away. Not too nice so the rain doesn't come off, because it does, but I don't really feel it in strong headwinds and crosswinds particular. It does vibrate a little bit, but it's not something that physically bother me other than I can see it in the corner of my eye, but I can't feel it. It has a little bit of bruises here and there, patina as they call it. It works very well. The first patina I got was like a couple of hours after I got the helmet. I was riding on board the train that goes from Hamburg and then down south, and I banged my head against those metal beams on the box cart that you ride the bike into when you put it on the train. Not much to say about the helmet. There's plenty of reviews on the helmet, so I'm not gonna do that. It has these I can see if I can do this with one hand. It has this built-in sun visor, which is very, very convenient. I use that a lot. And just flip it down like that. And yeah, there you go. Yeah, works very well. I don't, the fact that it's black is just, I don't know. I kind of like black. That's probably more a taste matter than it's anything else. I have no problem with the heat picking up when I'm riding because it's very well ventilated. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about the jacket. This is a Klim Rally Adventure, and also the pants are, let's get my thumb out of the way, it's Klim Adventure Rally. I am really pleased with this suit. This works very, very well for me. It has plenty of pockets. It keeps me dry. I have not had one single drop, and literally not one single drop that I can guarantee is not from sweat coming in the jacket. Well, obviously here, if I'm having something, a cloth or something like that, water can come in here. Also with the gloves, if I don't fit it correctly, tie the sleeves correctly with the gloves. But in the zippers and stuff like that, they are totally waterproof. But you have to make sure that they are all the way up, because if you just leave like a few millimeters, water will get in, and you can get wet. And the first rain I had, I was actually quite disappointed because I was wet on my arm, but it turned out that this one wasn't, all the way up. It missed like a half a centimeter or something like that. Once I moved it all the way up the following day where we had rain as well, I didn't get anything in at all. Pants worked very well. Klim had a reputation of having a little bit of baggy butts on the pants, and they are a little bit baggy. They're motorcycle pants. I mean, there have to be some space for you when you sit down, and so the pants don't go all the way down on the butt cheeks. But it's not as bad as they used to. Having said that, it's very stiff, the material. It is not something that you want to walk and for hiking, obviously. Sitting on the bike all day, no problems with the comfort on this one. Let me get off the clothes, or let me film the clothes with me not in it, so we can get a better detailed view on what it looks like and what features it has. So the Klim Adventure rally jacket that I'm using, I've used it on the trip to Moldova. That's on YouTube, and also the trip to Murmansk, Norway, which is also on YouTube. Let's go through the features that it has. So starting from the outside, it has a couple of pockets. Let's start with this one. This one is it keeps out water pretty well. Never experienced any water in it. If you're worried about having something in there that cannot have water whatsoever, what you want to do is put it in this kind of dry bag thing. That will definitely keep out the water. And I use it for the some of the video equipment that I use, the DJI Osmo Pocket that I use for recording the selfies and when I'm off the bike. It fits in here, so it's quite convenient. Then it has this outer pocket, and this one is not waterproof. Water can easily come in it, so whatever you put in here is something that can deal with that. I am using the pocket for my Spot, the emergency thing that I used back in 2018, and turned out it worked well when it really needed. Almost same kind of pocket on the other side, except from this one has the this is where the Hydro Pack hose goes, and so when you ride and you use it, you either have this one open or you can close it a little bit so it's a little bit more fixed. It comes out of this hole. This is also the same place where you want that you use if you have like a phone or any other audio device, or earphones coming out here, so it actually goes all the way through. I've not had any rain coming through this one at all, except from when this is open, obviously. But when the zipper is closed, nothing is coming in. Not using it, I'm just tuck it away, so the hose goes in here and then over the shoulder, so it's not bothering too much. If you are using a separate camelback, then you would use whatever system that brings. Coming over here, this is an air vent, not a pocket, but an air vent. So whenever you ride, you have air coming in here. You have an air vent with air coming in here, and an air vent with air coming in here, which is very nice when you ride imagine you ride the bike, so you have air coming in this way. So it's basically the same, the vent here as on the other side, and the shoulder, overarm and forearm, I think it's called, except from here we have this is a pocket for the medical card that you can order whenever you get the jacket, and you can go online and order the medical card that has your name, your emergency contacts and blood type and allergies, I think, and stuff like that. When it's really hot, what I do like about this one is where is it? So you open this one and it has this little hook here, and you basically attach it there. So that means that when you're riding, and it's the same over now, so it kind of assumes that it is hot when you do this, so these vents are open anyway. Where is it? There it is. And the same thing here. So this makes sure that this one stays open and doesn't, you know, bounce around and flap around when you ride in the wind. So this is a very, very cool feature. I like that a lot, and I use that a lot when riding in warm weather. Going a little bit further down here, we have a couple of pockets on each side. There's a pocket here that comes from the inside and then out, and this is actually a rather big pocket, which is quite convenient. And also coming from the outside and in, you have another pocket which is even bigger, so you can see it goes all the way here and all the way up here, whereas this one ends here. So the inner one is slightly bigger. The opening is not as big as what it can store, but you can have a lot of stuff in there. Same on the other side. The zippers are different. This is these rubber ones that are totally waterproof, whereas these ones are waterproof-ish. You know, if they open a little bit, the water will come in, but it is usually not a problem. Alright, let's turn this one around. So right now, if you take a look at this one, this is my the Hydra pack. This is fully loaded right now with 3 liters, so I think it's 100 fluid ounces. Let's open it and see what's inside. Gonna get this one off, and then just pull it off. So this is the hose that goes all the way, and then well, you can direct it whichever way you want, under the arm or over the arm, whatever you feel most comfortable. And if you're not using it, it doesn't take up as much space. And also, one thing that needs to be considered is the weight. It's additional 3 kilos. Having said that, it doesn't feel like a huge deal when you're actually wearing it. Let me just give you one of the reasons why. Because of these ones. Oh no, not that one. It has some good mechanisms of preventing, so these straps preventing the back from being pulled too much down. But that said, to be honest, it's most, you know, the lighter the better, really. But it's convenient to have water nearby. I drink a lot more water because pretty much every time I have a break, I just, you know, get some water. But if you are equally comfortable with just having a bottle in your luggage, that would work as well, I guess. Just sliding it down again, using the gravity a little bit, and making sure that the hose is not in a way that the water is not flowing. I think that's good. And then important, this little flap here, or strap, you want to make sure that it is attached in a way that the Hydra pack doesn't fall to the bottom of the pocket. This pocket is really for a neck brace, if you're using a neck brace. On the side here you have these vents, so all the air coming from the front goes out here in the back. And they can actually be, you don't have to close them if it's relatively warm and it starts raining, because I've never experienced any water coming in from that unless it's really torrential rain. Then some water may come in, but you know, just normal drizzle, not a problem. So I don't know if we can get a decent picture of this, but on the bottom here you have a couple of pockets. You have this one. Right, I'm just using for a cloth right now to clean my visor. And there's another one on the other side, which is part 2 of the visor cleaning setup. This pocket is very convenient as well. It's huge pocketed, and it looks like it's difficult to access when you're wearing the jacket, but it really isn't. I use it for placing my gloves, and if I'm riding with a balaclava or something like that, I can just temporarily store it here and just, you know, when I'm off the bike and maybe going to a gas station or something like that, and I don't want to leave the gloves or at the bike. Very convenient for that. It's a shell, so it doesn't come with any form of inner insulation or whatever. Both the pants and the jacket, it's a shell. That means that whatever layer you put underneath it is really up to you. There's no layers under it when you buy it. So I'd like to just ride with this one, which is it's just a small thin inner wind break or something like that. I don't even know what it's called, but it's very, very nice and comfortable, soft and hot, and keep me warm. These you can adjust the size, really, how you know, if you have a lot of clothes under it, maybe you want to have a little bit bigger on each side, and on you have two on the forearm and upper arm here. On the collar you can adjust it using this one. This is very comfortable material. I don't have any problems with it. And also on the waist you can adjust the size of the waist. So there is one thing that I would have liked. I would have liked to have a little bit more inner pockets that are a little bit bigger. The reason for that is that though this will, you know, this will fit a passport, it doesn't fit my registration papers and my insurance papers unless I fold it. And the officials, they open it and close it, open it and close it, so it gets a little bit worn. The more folds it has, the more worn it gets, and you know, some of the officials, they were a little bit they had to, are they sure this is not a fake document, because it kind of, yeah. So I would have liked to have some sort of inner pocket that was a little bit bigger for these kind of papers, because I do not want to have my personal papers on the bike. I want to have them on my body, just in case if I get, you know, away from the bike in an accident, or I don't know. So what I've done so far is that, because this pocket is big enough for that, I've been using this pocket and making sure that it's contained in a plastic bag that holds out water, so it doesn't get wet, because you don't want the passport and these kind of things to get wet. So yeah, that's it. That's pretty much the only complaint I have. Talking about protection. Well, you already noticed these chest protection. We have the back protection here that protects the spine, I guess. We have shoulder protection, and we have elbow protections. And yeah, well, it's protection. They don't necessarily add to the comfort of a jacket, but they are not uncomfortable either. So they work very well. The jacket itself is quite heavy, particularly with the 3 liter or 100 ounces hydro pack. That does not help that, but when you actually wear it, it doesn't feel that bad. Alright, it has kidney belts built in that I don't really use that much. Sometimes I do, but most of the times I don't. But you can tuck them in here, and if you don't use them, you don't have to actually take them out. So this is quite convenient. And just get it right here, like that. If you don't want to ride with these chest plates, they come off easily as well. Depends on what kind of ride you do. I think they're there to protect you if you get some branches, if you ride off-road in the forest and you have some branches coming in and banging you on the chest, something like that. They don't bother me, so I just have them, and they connect with this Velcro and this little connector here, like that. So you're protected like that, which is fine. Alright, I think that's all has to be said about the jacket. Yeah, moving on to the pants, from the top and then down. It doesn't have any belt straps, as you can see, but they have these built-in mechanisms, so it kind of makes it up for a belt. They don't come with suspenders or anything like that, but I guess you can add that if you feel that they are pulling you down, or if you feel that they slide down. They have a small pocket. I have no idea what it's supposed to be used for. It's coins, I don't know. I don't really use coins much. Most of the places it's notes. I guess I can have a few notes here. It is too small for, at least for the key fob. I think let's go and take that. Yeah, so I never really tried this. So this has the key fob. Let's see if it fits. Oh, it's tight. Well, you can if you really want to, but I cannot open it. I'm almost breaking the zipper now. Oh, there you go. But so far I haven't really used it, and to be honest, I think it's too tight for me to actually start using it for the key fob at least. These big zippers are air vents at the intake. They have pockets here. They also keep dry. And here's the air coming out. Remember that when you actually wear them, they do get around your leg, so this is actually on the back of your upper leg. Going a little bit further down, we have this Velcro that makes them adjustable to the boots. Reflecting material. They call this something that is supposed to be quite durable. Super fabric, I think they call it. This one, and Cordura, and so this is some leather stuff. Quite convenient. So the pants are quite comfortable. Protection. So it has the hip protection. It has knee protection. It has protection on the thighs. Kind of the same material. Let's see if I can get that out. Well, you can get an idea of the material, this mesh material that sits in front of your leg here. And then it has this tailbone protector. I thought initially this would be a pain in the ass, literally, but it isn't. I can't really feel it when I'm sitting down, nor walking, nor sitting on a chair and having lunch or anything like that. It's actually, I don't feel it at all, to the point where I'm a little bit, will it really protect my tailbone? I don't know, but as it doesn't bother me, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, that's that. Super. Again, the pants are a little bit stiff, and they're stiff to the point where, you know, it can be a little bit difficult to get on the bike, because it's kind of you don't have the same flexibility as you would have in regular day pants. But you know, it's just we're getting used to. My trusted Sidi Adventure. These boots are fantastic. I really love these boots. I've been using this particular model the last 8 years, and I think I've been taking good care of them. They do look old now, but they also have quite a lot of kilometers on them. They're still waterproof. I don't get smelly feet, so I don't stand up 100% of the time when I ride. I stand up mostly if when it's loose surfaces. Otherwise I mostly sit down, so I don't there's a little bit wear from where the foot picks. The left boot used for shifting has a little bit more, because I you know, have a tendency to put my weight different when shifting up and down. So there's a little bit wear here, but besides from that, they have been very, obviously they're stiff. It's not like it's a hiking boot, anything like that, but you know, I've been very pleased with these. These are absolute never had boots this good. They were squeaking a bit when I first got them, but that went away when I used some shoe grease for the leather, and I also greased them wherever these plastic parts they were moving against either another piece of plastic or leather. So yeah, I basically just, you know, greased them all the way in here, all the way that I could, and then it went away, and I haven't really heard it since. Let's see if I can get that tucked in again. There you go. Yeah, no squeaky boots for me. Yep, really nice boots. I like them a lot. They have protective plastic here, and also here in the front. This is quite heavy duty here. They are not like motocross boots. They're not that heavy duty, but for the kind of riding that I do, they're quite nice. Last thing we want to talk about are the gloves. 2 sets of gloves here. This is my Klim Element short sleeve gloves. I like they've been using those for the last 8 years. Very comfortable gloves. Been chewed by a dog a little bit, but they still work. They are, you know, on the last half of their lifetime, to be honest, because they are getting a little bit sticky inside, particularly when they're a little bit wet. They do hold out water quite well, and they are warm, but you know, moist will eventually come inside, or either from the outside or from your hand itself, so they can get a little sticky. Quite nice. I would, nice gloves. My summer gloves, these are a brand called Held. For no particular reason. I just, when I tried them, I find they were comfortable, and sometimes you can get some gloves where, you know, they fold in a way that makes it very uncomfortable, particularly when you're holding around a handlebar. I bought some summer gloves for a couple of years ago, and they just killed me. They were not very comfortable, and they were because they folded in a way that was not compatible with my hand, so to speak. So, but these are quite nice. Obviously they're not warm, they're not supposed to be. Very well ventilated. So these are my summer gloves. Thank you so much for watching again, and next time I will be going through the video gear that I have, the camera equipment, the audio stuff, and how I use it, and my workflow. So stay tuned for that, and I hope to see you then. Bye.